Let me now also go across to my panel of guests who are joining us on Beyond the Headline tonight. I'm joined by Neeti Jain, spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm also joined by B.S. Arun, senior journalist. Aishwarya Mahadev, spokesperson of the Congress, joins us. And I'm joined by Mohammad Tausif Rahman, TMC spokesperson. Welcome to all of you on Beyond the Headline on Mirror Now. First, coming to you, Aishwarya Mahadev, we've heard that the opposition now has a new name. It has been rebranded, rechristened to Team I.N.D.I.A. India. But, there has been a lot of talk about the idea of India from both sides. And I want to understand from both the sides, what exactly is the idea of India for you?
I think first and foremost, what has happened in Bangalore today and in my home state is something of a very momentous occasion, because opposition parties from across the country that represent what India is from different states have come together for a larger goal, put aside a lot of differences in order to fight for what the idea of India has been. We are not talking about this post-truth sort of alternate facts sort of new India where we move from Amrit Kal to whatever the new terminology is now. Rather, the idea, the pristine and the pure idea of a secular, a diverse, an inclusive, a development-based sort of platform for the future is what the idea of India and what these parties represent. And I think that is critical. That is the lifeblood and the essence of what this country is, what this country stands for, and what this country, all of us have seen over the years, but in the past 9 odd years seems to have been irrevocably changed because of some of the practices, some of the methods, and some of the sort of narrow political agendas of political parties. And I think this is about reclaiming what India is, reclaiming what we know to be a motherland for everybody. And in Kannada, they say Sarva Janangada Shantiya Tota, which is a peaceful land for all. And I think that is where today in Karnataka and in Bangalore, we have set foot into a new era for change, because we believe that India, the country, deserves better, and India, the alliance, will deliver that.
Okay, Neeti Jain, the Prime Minister spoke a while back and he pitched acronym against acronym. If Team I.N.D.I.A. or India came up with that acronym, the Prime Minister expanded NDA to New India, Development and Aspiration. For the BJP-led NDA alliance, what's the idea of India?
He also spoke about what the government has done for the past 10 years, 9 years, and what he intends to do. He has laid out a vision for the next 25 years for this country. The new I.N.D.I.A. that these people are talking about, they have nothing apart from, okay, today they've come up with a new name, which I don't understand why Congress is so happy, which basically just means that it is no more a UPA. It is no more led by a Congress. The Congress is not playing from a power of position anymore. UPA is dead. So I don't understand the happiness of Congress essentially. But what this alliance is talking about, nobody has come out, and even this name, I think every party is coming out and trying to claim credit that we suggested this name. So if they cannot come together on a simple agenda like this, I would really look forward to what the agenda they're coming out for, and what is it that these people can find a common ground to stand on. That said, I think Modi ji has today explained everything that the government has done. You can come out with an entire rhetoric about New India and the idea of India, but these are the parties that could not give toilets to people for 70 years. That is what Modi ji has come, and he's done that. The digital payments has been done by Modi ji. So your romanticized version of idea of India is well and good, but nothing. You have nothing to show either today on paper about the agenda that you have for the future, and neither do you have anything in the past that you can come out and explain that why is it that this coalition should be given another chance.
Aishwarya, respond to that. One, how much of an impact will this name have? Number one, why is it important for this opposition alliance to have this name? And is it correct to have the name of an alliance after a country? And two, how much of an impact do you think it's going to have on people ahead of the 2024 elections?
You know, I was just looking at your scroll and it says Modi's 38. Yes, exactly. That is what has happened in this country, where you cannot look beyond the name of one person. So this is obviously Modi versus India in the upcoming elections. And of course, the BJP believes that history began in 2014, because she goes on to ask what has happened before. And ma'am, I'm not here to give you a history lesson or even ask where you're picking up these needles in a haystack, because you need to criticize us for something. The Congress party is spearheading and working with all these other parties. It is not any sort of position of power, because again, we are not driven by megalomania and cult of personality the way that the BJP's 38 seem to be. And for us, the idea is it's an alliance for India, it is an alliance pro-India, and it is an alliance of India against Modi and his 38, and we don't understand who else he'll use with the state instrumentality to come over to his side. And fact of the matter is, I'm not going to sit and tell you what new India is, whether it is increased intolerance, whether it is the fact that you cannot control border incursions, even though you have a 56-inch chest, whether it's the fact that your prime minister is completely silent about basic massive violence in a state in the northeast, or the fact that you called a man, let's say from a particular party in Meghalaya, a crook, and then went on to have an alliance with him. And the fact remains that the politics of opportunism for narrow political gains and creating communal divide is not going to continue. And India and the alliance is something that stands for not this new India that is contorted in Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
Rather, it is for the people, for
Okay.
what the idea of an inclusive secular alliance should be.
Okay. All right. Neeti Jain, I'm going to come back to you. Let me also get in my other panelists to this discussion. Tausif Rahman, yes, I will come back to you first. Let me bring in the other panelists too. I will come back to you. Just hold on. Let the others come into the discussion. I'll come back to you. Tausif Rahman, talking about rising above differences, the TMC first denied that it's not going to meet in a Congress rule state. And now you, of course, have your leader there, right there in Bengaluru with the alliance. What does TMC think of this alliance, and how does it see its future with the alliance?
Shreya, you have to understand, anything for the betterment of the country, so Mamata Banerjee will go forth and it will be possible. Now, we have a huge discussion and we have lots of things in our mind. You have some question, the people of India have some question as well. Now, 2024 will see India versus no development alliance. I repeat, NDA means no development alliance. There was a repeated question like Modi versus who? So now the answer is simple. It's India. Now, if you give a full form of India, that doesn't mean some alliance or something like that. The unity is between the political party and the people of India, the Janta of India. The biggest Gadbandhan is between the people and the political parties who have seen what is happening wrong in India. I mean, it is very important day, Shreya, because for BJP, it's a beginning of an end. It's not about defeating fascist and Modi era, but this will be the biggest victory in the history of democracy. Talking about corruption to Parivarwad, Modi ji needs to peep into his own camp and recall about what he said about Ajit Pawar and Hemanta Biswas before making them join to BJP and throwing them inside the washing machine. He said about Parivarwad, isn't it? In the statement today itself. Then who is Jyotiraditya Scindia, Kiran Rijju, Piyush Goyal, Dharminder Singh, Anurag Thakur, Nirmala Sitharaman? Who are these people? Are they coming from a singular parent head, or they had no political chemistry, or they had no political history before that? So before you claim anything, we have a simple reason, we have a simple stand. Where are you going? Where are you taking the country? Day before yesterday, 2 weeks back, Bhajpa was making fun of this alliance. Like, इन्होंने कुछ काम नहीं किया 10 साल, तभी इनको alliance की जरूरत है. आज क्या हो गया आपको? What is the reason that you need that Modi 30 Super 30 alliance party? What is wrong with you today? I totally
Okay.
understand Bhajpa doesn't practice what
Okay.
they
Neeti
preach,
Jain.
but India wants to know about the inflammation, budgetary fraud from parliament till it reaches to public. Shreya, I'll just finish in 10 seconds. What
All
about
right.
misuse of
All
central
right,
agencies?
Tausif.
You have this question. Why do you want to defeat Modi? Why do you want to remove Modi? Where is rupee versus dollar? What is demonetization? What is unemployment, economic blunders, betrayal of farmers, cultivation of hate, purchasing of media and budgetary frauds? Do you have any answer?
Okay.
My panelist is sitting there. I would like to know that.
All right. Neeti Jain, respond to that. Yes.
All right. So first of all, it is very rich for Aishwarya to say that we are after one man. I think for 20 years, Congress party is trying to launch one man who is still refusing to launch. So I don't know where that is coming from. And ma'am, this is called leadership. This is not called megalomaniac, which is what you and your alliance
sure you
lacks.
have more
And which
substance
I
than
understand
that.
you would not understand the significance or the meaning. Ma'am, I did not interrupt when you were speaking. Please let me finish.
So please
That
do not
said,
disrespect
the
my
leadership
leader.
issue, and that has been a question. Who is your neta? What is your niti? And what is your niyat in coming together? That is something I have been asking. Shreya, I have listened to everybody very, very decently. I would expect a similar courtesy to be extended to me. Thank you.
If he doesn't have the
For the
courtesy to
TMC,
not
and that is a question
Yes,
both to Congress
Aishwarya, I'll
and
come
the
back to you.
TMC spokesperson.
Neeti, you make your point.
These
Aishwarya,
are the
please.
people. Your
Aishwarya, I'll come
state-
back to you. Let Neeti make her point.
Your state leaders go out and say that they are not going to come together with Mamata Banerjee, and the dynasts sit on the top and then say, "Nahi, nahi, hum log sab ek saath hai." So I really don't understand, how do you intend to implement your romanticized version of the new India on ground, because your own party members are not willing to go ahead with your agenda on the top. Your Delhi people have said they don't want to get into an alliance with Aam Aadmi Party. Your Punjab leaders have said they don't want to get into an alliance with Aam Aadmi Party. But you're sitting today, you're holding hands, you have this romanticized version where you say, no, we are all together. So I and the entire country today, we really don't understand what this India I.N.D.I.A. that you've come out with stands for, and stands for in the sense, what is the agenda that you stand for, who is your leader, and where do you intend to go with it? You cannot build an entire alliance just on a negative agenda, anti-BJP, anti-Modi. That is what you're saying. What is the positive that you are looking at? What do you intend to do? And India today is it's the fifth largest economy, and if you look at the state outside of this country, you would understand where the economy is. And we are faring much better. If you don't understand, at least try and listen to the voices outside of this country, the entire international community. I think India today stands at a much stronger world pedestal than it has ever done in the past.
Excessively rich coming from a
Aishwarya,
party where the
that.
person at the helm
Also, you know what my question was? That, please answer that. And of course, my question that how are different political parties in the opposition unity or team I.N.D.I.A. planning to rise above their differences and march to 2024?
You know, before I answer that, I think it's extremely rich coming from a person from a party whose leader said, "Ek akela, I will take on all the opposition." And the minute he realizes an opposition meet is happening in Bangalore, he scrambles to bring 38 parties together, majority of whom don't have more than one or two MPs.
He is not bending on his knees like you are.
Including people
who did not say, "I don't want to be in PM."
Or dynasts who are corrupt and all of that. And the fact of the matter is,
bending down to no levels to get into this alliance. We are just bringing NDA
ad
together.
hominem rhetoric attacks.
This
and
is 25 years of NDA. We are standing firm on our ideology.
It used to be
We are
one man,
standing
now
firm
it is
on
one
our
plus
development
38.
agenda. We
But
are
the
not
BJP
bending
didn't.
backwards to get people together, and we have always been with our alliance.
Neeti, I gave you time to respond. Please let Aishwarya respond.
Let me just complete this and she can
Aishwarya,
have her
please
time. And I will
make
not
your point,
interrupt
finish
her.
your point. Yes.
Shreya, the fact remains that
Yes,
it's very
please.
rich for a person that said it is only me to have 38 people now. It is also very rich for a man that basically had called a chief minister of Meghalaya a complete crook, and the home minister had said the same, and now they're in alliance there. You know exactly what they've said about Ajit Pawar. You know exactly what they were saying about Eknath Shinde also, and they're also the same thing of dynasts. They want to talk with the range of dynasts that are sitting around there. It is hypocrisy on a national stage. The fact, now I'll come to your point, Shreya, is this.
Okay.
All opposition parties realize the sort of coercive, anti-democratic manner in which the BJP functions, where you seem to be corrupt if you're on the other side, but the minute you come over, you have a washing machine that makes you whiter than white and cleaner than Ganga. God forbid, we know what has happened to the Ganga because of the center scheme on that. And today what we're saying is, we have to rise above whatever political differences we have, because one, we are all democratic parties that acknowledge that there is a need to overthrow this growing sort of tyrannical, sort of systematically misusing institutions, the government of today. And that is why opposition parties are going to work together to overthrow what is largely becoming a republic of one, a leadership of one, and a photo op for only one. And sadly, for a man that still will not have a press conference, but when he does, the poor journalist gets trolled. And mind you, she's not from India, because God forbid, we don't know what would happen to her if she was from here.
Okay. Let me also bring in B.S. Arun to this discussion. Thank you very much for patiently waiting so far, B.S. Arun. I will come back to you, Neeti, but first let me get in B.S. Arun to this discussion. B.S. Arun, acronym against acronym, political strength at display, mega, display of power today by both sides. 26 versus 38, but the question remains, how much of what will help either faction in 2024? How do you see this really playing out?
Shreya, what happened in Bangalore was an important development. Of course, what happened in Delhi also was, but then the Bangalore development ensured that there is going to be a formidable opposition in the country, which was very, badly needed. It was lacking all these years, especially since 2019, and now we have a opposition formation, and this, I think, is going to be an important factor in the run-up to the 2024 elections. So, having said that, the development that happened in Delhi also was important, because for the first time, NDA met after the 2019 elections, and this in a way showed that one wonders whether BJP was a little hesitant in going alone, because all these days, all the 4 years, we have seen, the BJP as a party, as a single party, dominated the country as such. Whether they were going for any election in any state, it was only BJP. None heard of NDA. There were only a couple of ministers left in the central government, like Athawale and others. And one more person, I think the Apnadal candidate as a minister. So it was BJP all over, and there was no NDA, and NDA has met for the first time. And this also shows that, NDA needs, the BJP needs other parties. And what is important here is that, although 30 of the 38 parties have no MPs, the very fact that the importance that the BJP gave showed, perhaps the gravity of the situation for them. The BJP wants each and every possible vote for themselves, for the NDA, to ensure that the party reaches the magic mark in the 2024 elections. So even if there are smaller parties like Chirag Paswan's party or Manji's party or Suhal Dev, all these parties are going to be important for the BJP, and perhaps that's how the politics should be. You have 26 parties on the one side and 38 on the other. So that perhaps says a lot about the Indian democracy as such.
Yes, Arun, how do you see these? How do you see these big changes, these big twists that came in? One side was Sharad Pawar, the other side was Chirag Paswan.
Well, I think Sharad Pawar attending this meet was not a surprise, although it has been a very serious setback for him. So unlike the last meeting which happened in Patna last month, Sharad Pawar's, the importance or the power has considerably diminished when he has attended today's meeting in Bangalore. I think to that extent, politics changes every day in India, and this is one example, one bright example of that. As far as Chirag Paswan is concerned, the developments in Bihar over the last few years. Chirag Paswan was thrown out of his house by this very government, just about 1.5 or 2 years back, and his party split, and his uncle became a minister in Delhi, and he was nowhere. But then BJP felt the importance of Chirag Paswan, only one party MP, if I'm sure. This also shows, as I just said, that the importance that BJP gives, even if the party has just one member. I think to get as many votes as possible for this formation, for this grouping, I think is going to be important from the BJP's point of view. And so is the Congress point of view, or the new India alliance point of view. I think this is how a democracy should play out, is my opinion, Shreya.
Okay. Niti Jain, there have been two accusations in the last 2 days against the BJP-led NDA alliance. One is that why this sudden plan to hold an alliance meeting, and why this reaching out to allies, which was not done earlier. And secondly, that number game that is playing out, 38, which the team I.N.D.I.A. accuses the NDA of having most of these parties as bogus parties. Whether they're even registered, they don't know. So is the NDA really playing the number game? It's just, a photo op that is happening?
All right, Shreya, as long as the number game is concerned, I think the entire alliance of I.N.D.I.A. has a maximum of 128 seats in the Lok Sabha. Collectively, all of them, all the parties that were sitting there. So if they're talking about 128, anyway, the NDA has a majority number of shares. And you cannot blame NDA or the BJP for opportunism, because even when we had the magic number, we had the full majority, we were still taking our allies with us. So the BJP has always taken the allies with us. For some reason, they decided to move away. For some reason, they have decided to come back to the NDA folds. And that is a question better asked to them, not us, about why did they choose to come back. And the BJP has always taken our allies together. But that said, the BJP alliance, or the NDA, we are celebrating the 25 years of our alliance. We are not bending backwards. We are not doing anything, we're not bending backwards on our ideology or our agenda. It is our ideology, it is our agenda, and the people who want to work for the development of this country are coming in and joining us. You are talking about dynasts, the Congress party. I don't think they understand the difference between a dynastic run party and the son of a politician can become an MP. That is not an issue, but those are not the people who decide everything. So for example, if an Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said that we are not going to fight Mamata Banerjee in Bengal, but the dynasts sit on the top in this, hum log yehi karenge. Zameen par kuch ho ya na ho, that does not matter to them, and that is dynasty. That is a dynasty run party, and if you don't understand that difference, that is your problem. Again, BJP is not a dynastic party. We don't have dynasts running this party. It is a democratic set of people who take decisions, and that is what is done. The third part being, you're talking about ED. Essentially, all you're saying is you are agreeing that there are corrupt people in whatever number of parties that are sitting there. Because you don't have a problem with their issues, you have a problem why the action is being taken there. Which is why the Congress will not talk about violence in Bengal, but they will talk about why action is being taken against Mr. Banerjee. That is the problem. You will not even talk about
we heard you.
Coming together will not even raise something that is wrong.
We heard you. Let Tausif Rahman respond to what you're saying.
Bengal violence.
You know, Shreya, they will never allow the Prime Minister
Tausif, make your point.
for RTI. They will never allow to do any kind of audit for PM's fund scare. I mean, they don't want to answer. They are talking about dynasty, which political party runs. They don't want to talk about the MP's son, nephew, or whatsoever, but they will come to Bengal and they will charge Mamata Banerjee
They are
about
not
nephew,
running the party.
Bhatija,
That is the
Banja.
difference.
No, wait, Shreya, wait, don't run. Don't behave like a knife, please. Listen to me, what I want to explain you. You have to accept BJP downfall has already started. We are not talking about this recent election, but first, you lost 2022 Himachal Pradesh Assembly election. Then you have faced a humiliating defeat in
Only in your
2023 Karnataka
romanticized
Assembly election.
version
Why?
is that true.
Let me tell you, interestingly, BJP has been voted out
assembly
of power in
elections
a
are
state
very different
that
from the
has
Lok
over
Sabha elections. Why don't you get that very
Hindu.
simple point?
Shreya, if she doesn't want to listen, it's okay. I'll just mute myself. It's all right. But you are banging upon someone's vote, right? I'll tell you, I'll give you a history, which you will not like it. BJP has been voted out of power in a state that has over 95% 17 Hindu population, suggesting that the electorate voted on the basis of government performance and not on emotive issues. Himachal Pradesh has only 2.18 Muslims and 1.16 Sikh. Where are you going? What about Ram Mandir? What about Masjid? Will you go beyond this? Shreya, I want to ask you, what have you done in last 10 years? And what is your work chart for coming this 10 years? What do you have for future prospects? Because you are continuously attacking the unity. Ke aapka work chart kya? I want to know what is your work chart. Do you have only one say that India has come down to 5th largest economy, blah, blah, blah. You people are sending things to moon. Congratulations to you. But that moon is not going to provide us atta, dal, chawal, gas. Will you provide that? क्या आप वो सस्ते में दोगे? आप नहीं देने वाले हो. What are you talking about?
And
You know
that
what
is
India
the problem.
means?
That
What
is
India
your
means?
problem.
Shri Niti,
Okay.
That is your problem. You
what
don't
India means?
understand the
India
relevance
means
of
for the
everything that
poor
this
people.
country is achieving.
India means listening to the poor
You
people.
do not
India means what
understand.
they have
All
done
right,
to the
Niti and
better.
Tausif, yes.
At least there will be no
70 साल से
farmer
बेच रहा है,
betrayal.
गरीबी हटाओ.
नहीं.
70 साल
Okay,
से
you know,
कांग्रेस
this way-
बेच रहा है,
गरीबों की
गरीबी
बात
This
हटाओ.
way none of
Today
us
you
can
are
understand
saying
each
it doesn't
other.
matter, we're going to the moon. That
गरीबों
is
की बात
Aishwarya-
करो आप.
okay. Let me please.
What
Okay,
NDA
Niti
will
and
give?
Tausif, yes. Okay, you made your points. We've heard you. I'm going to go across to Aishwarya and ask the main question that has been asked for so long now. Who is going to be the prime ministerial candidate from Team I.N.D.I.A.?
Yeah, I think the fact remains that there are a lot of modalities that is going to be worked upon, but I think this is a massive success. It is a massive success for the chairperson of the CPP, for the Congress president, along with party presidents all across. And I think for us, the first goal now is to have a working framework for 2024. And I'm sure all of us, as we have done previously in successive UPA governments, that we will always have a good choice to lead this nation. But Shreya, please allow me to point out one thing. There was this idea of infallibility since 2014 surrounding this one person that has been systematically disintegrating, so much so that a man who had never called for a meeting of his allies since 2019, and mind you, tell me how many cabinet ministers do you have from your ally parties, is basically calling a meeting one. Second, you saw that his cult of personality was not able to win you Karnataka, so much so that the BJP there does not have a leader of the opposition, but also was wiped out so badly that even their numbers double will not come close to the absolute majority of the Congress. What is happening? There is a systematic breakdown of this personality that the BJP is projected, and this is not them being, wonderfully charitable to their allies. This is them saying, please bring some sort of flock together because there's a formidable force that is building up against us. This is hubris, and the result of hubris that has led to the BJP to look at this other option, and that is what it is. Call a spade a spade. It is an inevitability for you because the man you run everything on no longer has the same personality. And these chief ministers of other states that have won despite all that the BJP has done, whether institutionally or whether through corruption or whether through coercive force, they have still won and still become chief ministers. And that is the fear for the prime minister today. This is political inevitability for him. And for us, it is an inevitability of preserving the idea of India. This is India for India, and India against Modi plus 38 or whatever other tiny party he wants to bring through.
Aishwarya. All right. Quickly, I'm going to go across to B.S. Arun. B.S. Arun, I have to wrap this discussion up, but quickly, For you, the main question, of course, is who do you see as the opposition's prime ministerial candidate? They're not speaking about it. They're saying the modalities need to be worked out. But who do you see as somebody, as a potential prime ministerial candidate, and how do you see this battle really panning out in the next few months?
Shreya, there are a couple of issues here. I very much doubt whether the new alliance will at all put up a candidate as a prime ministerial candidate, as a prime ministerial face. I think this is because of two reasons. One, they don't want to pit anybody against Modi because, we all know that Modi is a formidable personality. And the moment the opposition alliance announces its candidate, if at all they do, then the BJP will go to town, on this comparing Modi with this leader. I think they want to avoid that until the elections. This, has happened in many of the states, like say in Karnataka, the last elections that we had in this country. The Congress didn't announce any leader as opposition as the chief ministerial face. I think this is one reason. And secondly, from whichever party that if the opposition alliance announces a candidate who belongs to Congress party, the two parties, the TMC and the Aam Aadmi party, have some reservations about this. Because over the last couple of years, we all know, how these two parties used to react to, say, Rahul Gandhi's sort of leadership in the Congress and the Congress alliance with these two possible alliance with these two parties. So I think I very much doubt any leader would be announced by these two parties. Having said that, Shreya, the opposition, when they have taken this important step, there is a long way to go. It's a long road for the opposition parties, because of the various factors. Today, Mr. Modi mentioned that, in the last 2019 elections, 225 seats out of 543 were won by the BJP with 50% margin. It's a huge margin. And also, if I can give you some statistics, over 225 seats were won with a margin of some 2 lakh plus. Some 80 seats were won with a margin of over 3 lakh by the BJP. And out of these 80 seats, 40 were in Uttar Pradesh. These are all, humongous figures. Humongous because the opposition alliance will have to overcome, all these things, all these factors. So there's a huge task ahead of them, in front of them. So it's going to be, of course, it's going to be an interesting, face-off, interesting fight between these two formidable formations. Shreya.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting fight that is going to be panning out in the next few months in the run-up to the 2024 elections. And of course, at the end of the day, the voter, the citizen, will decide who comes to power next year. But for now, I'm going to wrap this discussion up. Neeti Jain, B.S. Arun, Aishwarya Mahadev and Tausif Rahman, thank you very much for joining us tonight and sharing your perspective on this big political battle that has panned out today. Thank you very much.